Welcome to another episode of the downloads. The downloads from the ancestors. I'm not sure what I'm going to call this. I want to keep the videos having a continuity of by their name. So I guess I will say this is another decoding, and it's talking about Necronomicon and the moon. But it's really ramblings. Really, this now I want to share. It's hard to categorize information. Bobby Hemmett, he talks in a chaos sphere, Whatever connects, that's what he talks about. Whatever comes in his head, that's what he talks about. And he's talking about at least 100 things in one lecture, because the points are very small. It's points of information. It's not a big long, he's not doing A to Z, the history of the world, So likewise, the information is being downloaded to me. I have already said that, first of all, this needs to be 10 minutes and I need to look at the time, but I've already said that you will know that it's getting downloaded, but you don't know what it is. So later some thought will pop in your mind randomly while you're doing something without you thinking about anything. So this is what came to me this morning. It's Necronomicon, okay, the word Necronomicon. Point number 1 is that is where they get the word Negro from. Point number 2, Necronomicon is the science, the cosmic science of birth, life, death, destruction, rebirth. Point number 3, necro, that root in our modern word, refers to death in a negative way. It refers to anything with death. Now, the negative is that because you have a soulless entity that is the complete opposite of a divine human person with a soul, then every egregious, disgusting, low-level, degenerate, unbelievable behavior is in them because they are exactly the opposite of you, and that's duality. You have a soul or you don't have a soul. And when you don't have a soul, the most despicable things you can think of is what you are, because you don't have a soul. You are the opposite. The opposite, okay? So, let's make the point here. I think it's necrophilia, okay? Necrophilia is the noun. It is having intercourse with a corpse. Now, this would be unfathomable to someone that is sane, someone that's a human being, someone that respects other people, someone with a soul. However, this word actually exists, and this is something that soulless people participate in. I don't know who, but anyway, the word exists. So necrophilia, you got the definition, okay? But it is a negative aspect of the cosmic truth. It's a negative term, but the cosmic truth is something good. Necronomicon is also a word that is it's the name of the Book of the Dead. Okay, that's how the people that run the world, they have named it the Book of the Dead. But the Book of the Dead is only the science of the cosmos of how you ascend. What happens to the body? It deteriorates, and then you go through different astral planes. Because your body is actually in layers. You have energetic layers of your body. And if you look up something on yoga or something, they explain this. You have 7 layers. And at least that's what they say, is 7 layers. So you have the mental layer, the causal layer, which is like the skin, like, you know, your material body, the causal body, the mental body, and I don't have the others memorized, but I have a little familiarity with it. Okay, so that's another point. Point number 2 is also, it's about the science of your connection to the ancestors that you think are dead. Now, another point number 5 or whatever, is all of this science of death you have been separated from it. Okay? You have been separated from the beauty of death and rebirth and resurrection. Although it's mentioned in church, but they don't make it a positive thing, and they don't connect you to your predecessors, your ancestors. So I don't know if I said that word predecessors right. I think I did. But anyway, they don't connect you. They as much as the church is about, I'm going to heaven, they never connect you to that side at all. They never talk about it. But let me just put that card on the table in that point. Point number 8 is Omicron. Omicron is using a word form from the word Necronomicon. And remember, the letters are vibrations. It doesn't have to be the exact same letters. And they're not going to be in the exact same order. But the vibration is the intention of what they want. And it's death. It's death. So let me see what else I want to say about Necronomicon. Because I was going to talk about the moon, but I'll put that in a separate... The ancestors told me something about the moon also. At the same time, they were popped this idea of Necronomicon in my head. So anyway, there is a movie, The Living Dead, I think. It's The Living Dead. You must go see that movie because it's a very awesome movie, and I'm not going to decode it now. I think I have an old audio that I haven't uploaded. I've decoded it already, but it centers around the Book of the Dead and Necronomicon. And another point number 8, whatever, let's look at the clock, is that Egypt, okay, Egypt is the light of the world. It was the center of the earth. I think it still is the center of the earth. It's the center of the earth, but that particular space that the pharaohs preserved, okay? They had to preserve something so we could figure this shit out now. That particular space, it holds all the science of the universe, but those that control that information, they have made sure they have villainized Egypt. So if you looked up anything on Necronomicon, try to look up the ancient book. I haven't, okay? I just know about it. I haven't. Because I know they're not going to tell you any truth in there. They're not going to tell you any truth in there. But I should look it up. Okay, eventually I will look it up. But, I have the Cosmos decoded, so I don't really need to know the details of that particular book. But there are some scholarly books written about the astral body and the layers of the astral body. And I'll have to research who the author is. But it takes some patience to read that. And they're not really telling you directly the truth, you know? They tell you a little bit here, a little bit there, and they twist some things around. And then it comes under the category of New Age, so you don't believe it. Now we're at the 10-minute mark, so I'm gonna stop. I think I have said everything about Necronomicon. Oh shit, I didn't. Let me continue in part 2 because we got to keep this at 10 minutes. The end. And of course, all thanks to Bobby Hennett.